What's up guys, CM Bassin here. Today we're going to talk about the best lures for beginner anglers. I'm going to be going over the 6 best lures that you need to buy if you are just getting into angling. Now this list is solely focused on bass fishing, specifically largemouth. And without further ado, the first lure I recommend is the Craw. Now, the Craw is a very versatile lure. There are many ways you can rig a Craw, but my favorite is definitely a Texas rig. What you'll need for this is some bullet weights. I use 1/4 ounce so that I can punch through some weeds and I can get a little bit further of a cast. You'll also need an EWG hook. EWG stands for extra wide gap. Some fishermen call this a Texas rig hook. Now, in my opinion, the Craw is overall the best creature bait out there. It is very easy to fish and you can go catch bass on it almost anywhere. Now obviously there are many different creature baits out there, but I think the Craw is definitely the best. So the first lure I would get as a beginner angler would definitely be a Craw. The second lure I would get as a beginner fisherman is definitely a paddle tail swim bait. Now there are a few different ways you can rig a swim bait, but my personal favorite is on a Swimbait jig head. This combo will get the bait down in the water column enough for you to find those bass that may be a little lethargic. But really, you can throw this lure anywhere and catch fish. The paddle tail swim bait is by far my favorite soft plastic search lure. The next lure on the list is the legendary Fluke. Also known as the soft plastic jerkbait, this lure can be used to find and catch those bass when the bite is slow. Now my personal favorite way to rig the Fluke is a weightless Texas rig. You just need your EWG hook and your Fluke, and that's it. I actually caught my personal best bass on a Fluke. The bass weighed 5 pounds 14 ounces. So all of these lures do catch big fish. It is impossible to make a list of good lures without mentioning the Senko. In my opinion, the Senko just might be the GOAT of all fishing lures. If you aren't catching on anything else, switch to a Senko. A Senko is one of the only lures that is pretty much a guaranteed catch every day. But what's the best way to rig the Senko? You can throw it on a weightless Texas rig, you can throw it on a normal Texas rig, but my personal favorite is definitely the wacky rig. If you were to only use one lure as a beginner bass angler, pick the Senko. Okay, now that we got all of the soft plastics out of the way, it's time to move on to the hard baits. The first hard bait on this list is a crankbait. What a crankbait does is it uses this bill to dive down. Different crankbaits have different size bills, which are used in different depths. So when you're looking to buy a crankbait, make sure you take your body of water into account and how deep you want them to dive. A crankbait is a very good search bait and very good, especially in the summer when you're fishing offshore for those bass that moved into the main lake. But it is also very good if you just want to throw it in the middle of your pond. If you were to only get one hard bait, crankbait is definitely the way to go.
Before we go on, only 1% of you guys watching are actually subscribed. If you would, please like and subscribe. It really means a lot to me and it'd help a lot.
Alright, the 6th and final lure in this list is a Whopper Plopper. In my opinion, a Whopper Plopper is not needed, but topwater strikes are one of the coolest ways to catch fish, and it will definitely keep beginner bass anglers interested in bass fishing and keep them fishing for life. The Whopper Plopper is the easiest topwater to throw by far. All you have to do is throw it out, retrieve it, and watch those bass smoke it. In my honest opinion, topwater bites are the best bites in all of bass fishing. Alright, obviously there are thousands of lures out there. I just picked the 6 best ones, in my opinion, for beginner bass anglers that are the easiest to use and that will catch bass and that will keep the beginner angler engaged with the sport. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or if I missed anything. Getting into bass fishing doesn't have to be expensive as long as you know what to buy and you pick the right stuff. So if you're balling on a budget, these are the 6 lures you should get. And something to keep in mind, do not get a bait caster for your first combo. Spinning combos are a lot more versatile and easy to use for beginner anglers. So get out there, catch some bass, and enjoy God's creation. See y'all in the next one.